Yo, what's good, YouTube? We're back with another video slash another stream, you feel me? Today is Friday the 13th, and we're about to jump right into it. So here we go. Same as always, we're just gonna start with simple news check. We have some pretty good volatile news coming in around 10 a.m. So we're gonna be patient today. We want to, fully just wait, and we're gonna make this a good day to end the week. So other than that, we're gonna just start charting. So it looks like we have swept this right there. So we did sweep this low, putting in bullish SMT right there. So knowing that we have an SMT, we can mark out that same exact low over here and get rid of that right there. So boom. Now we know that we have an SMT, we can start to just narrow this down a little bit more, see where that next draw is, if this SMT holds, if, we still want to return back lower, but from the looks of it right now, that is not what, the market looks like it wants to do. So we'll mark out our first high that we're looking at right there, internal right there. So we have buy side liquidity resting. We know we have sell side beneath this if, for any reason we'd want to sell back off. There is targets and a reason to go lower. Mark out our buy side over here. So man, we're just kind of in this little window of buy side, sell side. We still have this open on NQ, but not on, yes, we're already taking this low. So that does give me, confidence to see higher at the moment, right? But we're not like, thinking that's the only thing that can happen today. So just put that as our, buy side. Another high here, right here, we have another SMT. That sold price off. So buy side, mark out ES, NQ, buy side, and then we have buy side right there. So relative equal highs, as well as this one up there, and lastly up there. But for right now, don't need to mark those out. I'm not saying it's not probable for us to get all the way back up there, but there's no need to, try and mark that out. We're going to be looking too far at the moment. So we're going to just drop down to our 1 hour and, see what happened after the SMT got put in. So it looks like we put in a 1 hour change. See if ES put this change in too. Bam. We did. So that tells me, the market did want to move higher. Put in a 1 hour change in the state, simply like that. That possibly, the open can pull back to, right? Manipulate lower, then the move possibly, go higher again. So just an idea. We're just thinking, this whole time until the open right here, we just wait and we implement ideas based upon what price action does. So we're not doing anything else besides, just charting up, and then honestly, we'll wait to see what happens. So we run this, bearish gap. If we wanted to get the sell side, this gap holds, right? And we don't run through it. That's the reason why this is so important. SMT change. Because now it's like, okay, we're looking to go higher. That's literally what the market is telling us, It's telling us like we want to go higher. So equal highs get put into right here. as well as here. So like now we're just looking to see, and the reason we have this marked out is because our word we got 1 hour gap, right? See what ES has to provide. No, gap right there. Tiny 1 hour gap right here. Small 1 hour. It won't be on a lower time frame, but we have a tiny 1 hour. Still can, manipulate inside of that. And then equal highs with a wide open 1 hour right above us. So, right exactly in this moment, I am, bullish, super bullish. But again, I still need a reason, to take that trade up there. So we have this 1 hour right there, resting at the change in the state. So pull back, respect that 1 hour, possibly move higher. That's something. And then, a 1 hour right there on thank you. Bam. Look a little bit lower, another 1 hour gap. And then we look on NQ again, 1 hour gap, resting right at the change. So again, like I said, we have a lot of reason to move lower. And we're just gonna simply wait, mark out our 930 candle. Bam. Mark out our 930 candle just like that. And, like I said, we're just gonna stay patient here. Not forcing nothing, just wait until market opens. Again, running this week off, clean. And if we lose, we're making sure that loss is, tight. We're not gonna be trying to, go crazy on the last day of the week. That's so stupid. That's literally like setting yourself up for, just a bad week next week. So just looking right now. So I'm really just gonna be watching right here at this point in time, just because 10 minutes till market open. I know we have a lot of reason to move higher. So I really want to see if these equal highs get taken out, because at the moment, this is an SMT because we do have equal highs. And this index had failed to even, take it. So that does work as an SMT. But, the only real like area I would want to see us fall to is, EQ, which, that's resting inside of a couple of these gaps. So if I was short by any means, I would only want to see EQ based upon that. We took this 4 hour low inside this tiny 4 hour gap and then put in a bullish SMT. So we gotta always, just keep that in mind. So I'll draw it out just like that. It's a tiny gap, super, super tiny. But when you get down to a lower time frame, this gap, obviously tends to get bigger. But we respect that perfectly. And instantly, immediately we put in a change in the state on 30-minute, 1 hour, run this gap. And again, if we wanted to get lower to, this low here, sell side, which we're not that far, right? We're not far at all, about 55 points from it. So if we want to get here, that 1 hour right here, this holds and we get lower. Same thing on NQ. So all right, we're just seeing how that, how I actually got to do that to see the points, quicker. But bam. So like I said, just gonna wait to see what this, open provides. Um, I would, want to see a low right here get taken inside of a gap. So that is what is clean to me. Low gets taken inside of, a 1 hour, a 15-minute right there. And, same thing on the S. So it does look clean, a pullback to a change as well. And then we change out of it too. So if we're gonna go run those equal highs, we should run them right now, while we're in imbalance, right? So we're already in. We're still holding, this 3 minute. We ran it, but we're still looking to hold there. We're inside of this 2 minute, but it's still, technically holding. So just based upon where we're at, we're looking to hold, but putting in that SMT, right? And then putting in those equal highs, of course, and this index failing, that is confidence, Like if we put in a 15-minute change here, I can see the lower to the change in the state, even this low, even equilibrium, if I were to be short. That's just by like, something. So that would be like, stop, go somewhere like here. I'm targeting right there. Something quick, a 1 to 2, if I were to take that. But again, I want to wait. I want to be confident in what I'm, trying to see. But from the looks of it right now, I'm not going to take anything. I really want to wait until the market opens and, news drops, all of that, because this 4 hour SMT, this is really what, is going to hold price. And that's really what's going to, be the determining factor. I would really like to see us dig as deep as we want to get lower first, and to see how low we get. That will kind of bring me my, my confidence slash, confluences. So I'm not confident in nothing right now, just because price action is not aligning with anything. Like we're so close to buy side, but why would I long here if we're probably gonna manipulate lower first? So just my understanding is kind of how I'm using it to my logic right here. Again, we still have every reason to move back lower too. 4 hour wide open, sell side and sell side. Like, but if this 4 hour truly wants to hold and we actually want to either go higher, that's what we'll do. And the first, target I'm looking for is these relative equal highs up here. So that's pretty much it. At the open, I'd like to see some form of just manipulation, something happen that's significant. But other than that, just gonna sit back, watch. If nothing really presents itself in the next 20 to 25 minutes, not gonna really trade it. But I do want to wait. I want to see what this news has to bring to the market, especially if it starts pumping in favor. The market starts pumping, to where I want to see it go. That's clean to me. So yeah, don't really gotta over explain that anymore. But real simple, Market is open in about 5 minutes. Again, like I said, if we want to pull back to a change, super, super confident in that. I want to see, any of these lows get manipulated. So really what I'm looking for is manipulation here. And then manipulation, here as well. inside of 15 minutes. So if we do want to go higher first, though, I have every right, like the market has every right to come take these highs, fill a 1 hour, then want to move lower. So if we want to do that, then obviously, I would still want to see, buy side level get taken, possibly. But if we want to fill this, we're most likely not, we're not gonna go and take buy side. So we got this 1 hour up here. I just want to, have this in case like the market does completely opposite of what I'm saying. I'm just getting that prepared because say we want to move higher first, then lower obviously probably is going to be, our next draw. And that's not like we're going to get back to sell side. It probably is that equilibrium range from this leg to the next leg that we're going to, go higher if we win. So it's just like, just understanding like there's two sides of it, and you got to actually like be ready for whatever the market is trying to tell you. So it just doesn't necessarily look like we're putting in a lot of sell side to even run. So, we have so much buy side. All these just highs just resting. This right here is a partial, a big partial right there. This probably is break even, and then obviously, you got relative equal highs up there. This is your runner. You just let it go. So definitely does make sense to me. And yeah. Yes, looking super clean as well. Relative equal highs resting in here too. Simple as that. Oh, and there we go. But yeah, market's opening in a minute. So again, like I said, I have my manipulation that I'd like to see happen, and let's just wait. Let's be patient today. Let's really be patient today. So market's opening in 45 seconds. And we are going to just watch. Looks like NQ is trying to put in a change here, up here, and we are going to put that change in. I want to see what the market has to provide after that. Changing the state is down here. And yeah, so I'm gonna drag this line out just deeper. It's not in the way. Let's see what the open does though. So push us a little bit deeper, pull back to that change on NQ, right? Do any of these gaps want to hold though? I know we have another SMT based upon these lows right here getting manipulated. So we're gonna have to, just wait super patiently. Pull back. Looks like we're going to change again to the downside. See what this 15-second model looks like. NQ is starting to dig, but ES is holding right there. So yeah, ES is holding. This is another down closed candle. So we'd look for a change right there, and it really looks like we want to run this. So doesn't look like we're holding whatsoever. This 15-minute change on NQ, we pull back to it though. That is something, confident. We're sort of looking for a change out of this level up here, but we're not going to get that by the looks of it. If ES doesn't, get that as well, then it's really not confident. Change right there and a change right there. We're looking for both of that to happen in 10 more seconds. So BS is, kinda looking to do it, but kinda isn't enough. So that's confirmed that we do change to go higher. Now, we know we put a 2-minute change in. We almost want to be looking for NQ to show us this. SMT right here. Again, we don't have to manipulate all the way back down to the change either. So SMT change puts in. We're looking for this gap to hold then. Simply. This gap to hold if we want to move higher. If we put this change in, then obviously, back to the downside, we're seeking lower. So no displacement opening up on NQ. So that's obviously gonna just, keep me a little bit more hands off for now. 2-minute change fails. So pretty much what I could say from the looks of it, from my opinion, nothing's going on at the moment. We have this 1-minute change. So we have a 1-minute gap down there. We obviously fail to retrace in it, tap it. Now NQ is starting to get that displacement, those legs up. So boom, clean change right there out of this. I do want to see that 2-minute change on NQ though. That's the only thing. If we don't put that 2-minute change in, and I were to go long right there, I'm stopped. And then, obviously we're starting to get that retrace. So this is all just a patient game, who can be more patient, who can let the manipulation, ride out first. And bam, now we are looking to return lower. Let's see if this SMT wants to hold. And if that SMT does want to hold, obviously I will be looking for that SMT to get invalidated, and then a 1-minute change gets put in down here. No 1-minute change in the state, then again, like I said, I'm just not simply just not long, or I'm not short or nothing. I'm just gonna watch. So just knowing we have this SMT and both of that in the market, look at the market open, look at these candles. If you can tell me you could take a trade off of that, then you're obviously not waiting. So looks like we're gonna put this change in off that 15-second, which is cool. I don't like it though. Now we're back at this 1-hour change, I think. No, we're not. So that was a 15-minute change actually. So we're back at that 15-minute change, and we are starting to look like we want to displace here. So 1-minute change is looking to get validated on NQ. So that SMT is out. Let's wait for this to get invalidated. 1-minute change is valid, I think, in 10 more seconds. So we're just gonna watch. If we're running that gap with a bearish SMT, change will confirm, and we hold. So we hold that gap all over again. We're gonna wait on ES. This is what is clean. So even if we miss an entry, no need to wait. We need to confirm lower would be the draw to possibly, take out some of these lows. So gonna get rid of this manipulation. So we're just gonna hold, and no need to have the chart cluttered, right? 30 more seconds to confirm it. So we'll draw our equilibrium. bam to bam. And now we'll look for a 1 minute to, validate this. And if we don't validate it, we're just not going to trade it, which it looks like we're going to. A couple more seconds, and no, we hold that 1 minute all over again. So now we're not gonna trade this. We still have this SMT. So, what would be the point in trading it if we still have an SMT? We still know we have buy side resting all the way up there. So now, yeah, that is exactly what we want to see. So now here is where I want to see a change out if we're going to go long here. Bullish SMT is still valid. And we get that confirmed change out. Now I just need NQ to confirm that right there off this 30-second model. But SMT still held. If NQ does, want to take this change as well, then I would be confident. And why would I? Because we're looking to get rid of that SMT here. Simply right there. So I want to, see that displacement. Let's get rid of this SMT. Clean 30-second change. Let's look here. Looks like we are going to pull back to it. See, NQ just did not take it yet. Put in a smaller, lower time frame change, but this is exactly why we're patient and we just wait. We pull back to it on ES, but we put in this 1 minute change too. We just pulled back to. So if we open up a 1 minute in favor here, possible long opportunity, and then bam, that SMT is not in the market anymore. 30-second change on NQ gets validated as well. I'm going to buy 4 on ES. My stop is going to go right beneath this 1 minute gap right there. So I only bought 4 just because of where we got to. But we changed out of it with this SMT and we failed to change on ES. So we get rid of that. And then obviously, we're starting to seek higher on both of these indexes. That SMT is not valid anymore. We're looking for those equal highs, obviously, to get met, but we are targeting buy side liquidity up there. SMT is valid in the market. We manipulate these lows and this low here, while we do not on ES. So we are just looking for, a full move to the upside. We got our internal manipulation to the downside. So now a 1 minute does get opened up in favor too. Pull back to a change would be, nice. 2 minute change gets put in. 2 minute gap also holds too. So we are looking long here. And now I'm just going to hold this confidently. This will probably be the only stab of the day though. We waited very, very patiently. And, other than that, I can't really try to ask for more out of this market, So whether it's going to be slow, whether it's going to be fast, at the end of the day, we put this, higher time frame bullish SMT in, put an SMT in right there inside of, a gap. Inside of a 1 hour, to me that looks bullish. So we look for that continuation, that follow through. I got, consistent size on 220 today, 4 cons. If we get a pullback, I will look to possibly add, but ES failed to take out the low, so I took it on ES. We got a little bit above first, so got this nice 1 minute in favor. But we are looking to, take out those highs up there. Gonna get rid of that EQ level. Where honestly here we're just looking for, you know, a flush or, you know, us to rip. So super clean. We manipulated at the open for about 10 more minutes, you know, after we open. So, you know, honestly, once I see that happen, I'm not really waiting, you know, or expecting, I guess you could say, something that's gonna go super, super low, especially when we have a 1 hour right there. So we didn't even, we failed to fill a 1 hour put in the S&P. So at this time, we'll probably, you know, try to go break even. But NQ is looking to follow through as well. I want those equal highs taken. So look at the 15-minute long right here. Stop at, you know, the gap. Targeting buy side liquidity. And then external as well. I'm gonna sell 3 here. So 75% of my position will come off here. And then we'll leave a runner to external. External is all the way above there, but then, you know, another buy side liquidity level resting up there. So I'll just be looking for this, you know. Equal highs got taken out the market right there. So we're not really worried about that anymore. We're just gonna be looking to see higher from here. I feel as if, you know, it's a Friday. Consistent size is you know, the best thing. A stop loss first being here is about 300 at the S&T. We're gonna tighten that up to about, you know, right under the 1 minute now for 190. And, you know, it's just consistent. I like that, you know. I like that I don't gotta, you know, slap on 400. That's a Friday. You know, I put on 4 con, something confident, you know, look at price action. At the end of the day, the model still delivered like beautifully. We held a 2 minute. We held this 2 minute right here. If you look, we held perfectly, put in the SMT, and then changed in the state right out of it, off that candle, pulled back to it, you know. I didn't enter off of that. I waited for like a more of a, you know, a reason why I would take this trade. And the reason was because I waited for, at the time, this SMT that was, you know, holding price lower. So as soon as that got taken out, I'm in there, you know. Phil got pushed up a little bit, but the reason I'm waiting is because if we still got a bearish SMT and I'm trading against that, you know, I still have a likelihood to get stopped. So that's really like the best way to position yourself. And, you know, that's literally how I got into that position, you know. So we're seeking higher, and, you know, from there, that's pretty much going to be it. Just going to let this trade rock out. Number 3, cons out of the 4 are going to come off there, and then we are leaving the runners to equal highs up there, relative equal highs. So super, super nice trade. I'm just pleased with the size that I put on too. I'm happy that, you know, say I lose that 220 and, you know, that little, not that I'm not going to lose it now, but, you know, say I do, and that's where, you know, I have myself just protected. It's not a lot on the day. You know, it's a Friday, no need to blow, you know, half of what I made yesterday, or even a lot of what I made yesterday by putting on like, you know, 300-400. And, you know, this trade, let's just say, doesn't work, you know. So it's always a good thing to make sure your risk is consistent, and you can always under risk a little bit, over not over risk, but like have your normal consistent size at the same time. So yeah, that's pretty much it right here. Uh, just gonna jump to a higher time frame to just see where the market is, what we're manipulating. We got a high here and a high there. So, obviously a high inside of a 30-minute is not something you obviously like to always see. But with a draw right above it, you're not really too worried about that. So I'm just gonna let this play out, mute up, and I'll be right back. All right, so stop is pretty much around break even, uh, right under the 5 minute. And if we want to go higher, we'll hold this five. If we don't, then we will lose nothing on the day. And with that 1 hour holding that I drew, we take a buy side level inside of a 1 hour. While we don't take this, where's this high at? Right there. So we do take that high. But that's what I said. Like if this 5 minute wants to hold, then we will probably, start seeing higher and legs out of this. So stop is right at break even, a little bit above right there. And, you know, just a clean trade at the end of the day, clean long, not upset with the result that happened. Obviously, doesn't look like we're getting that displacement anymore. We were up a little bit. I did not see where it went. So again, like I said, not upset about it. Uh, Everything happens, for a specific reason in this market. So if we do not want to get through that 1 hour, then what are we gonna do? A lot more things can happen. So yeah. But like I said, 15-minute candle is, starting to make its return. And we're looking like we're gonna get stopped here. This 5 minute probably is not gonna hold. And we'll probably start seeking to get lower. But we're right above, a 3 minute. This 3 minute just got ran right above a 2 minute. 2 minutes probably, not gonna hold either. There's no displacement in this range right there. So at the end of the day, super, super clean long. Just journal that real quick, just to, you know that's the exact trade we put on. Super clean though, with the reasoning and everything. Just took my model, A plus SMT, manipulated, change, boom, and we're in. So 5 is looking like it's starting to hold just a little bit, but we're not worried about it. Not really stressing what happens here. So now, if we put this 2 minute change in, and we get out of this, level, we'll obviously start seeking higher. We'll start to seek higher. 2 minute fair value gap, and then obviously a 2 minute change to follow that. But we have to do that, before getting stopped. So for a break even, just being up that much, and we know we are protected the same way we were protected down here. It was beneath the 1 minute and the SMT there. We're looking for that, same exact follow through / protection in our trades. We're looking to put this risk on, like I said, win, lose, break even. I'm always, happy with the decision making that I make, because at the end of the day, I just position myself to be in a position that I'm just not gonna lose heavy, or I'll win. If I lose, let's just say a decent amount, I know that I can come back another day and not make that back, but just execute and still be up. So right here, yeah, we're just looking for that, that type of displacement. If we start to get above this 2 minute like we are right there, then continue to see higher. So, but the trade is never over until it is over. This 5 minute did just turn bullish, so that 5 minute turning bullish on us, and then the next 5 minutes to open up, we will start to seek a little bit higher. So this is what the trade looks like though. We rebalanced. Where do we rebalance to? Let's see. Equilibrium. Holy shit, came right to the 50. Our trade is at break even under the 5 minute. So we had a beautiful 5 minute, retrace in equilibrium inside of a gap. That will show you that, we are bullish from here. But if we do not want to run, then again, that's perfectly fine. So this 2 minute gets inversed. I would look for, us not to trade back down deep. I want to see if we run this 1 hour though, like if the market does want to run this 1 hour in the next 4 or 5 minutes, then again, I'll be pretty bullish, because that's what's holding us. We took the high, bam, rebalanced EQ. So just holding on to the trade. This is what it looks like though. 15-minute time frame. Clean though. At the end of the day, super clean. Ten more seconds until a 2 minute opens up. 3, 2, 1. Bam. 2 minute fair value gap opens up. Could go, stop loss a little bit of profit, or obviously continue to have it at break even. That's what I'm gonna do. Let's look what NQ is providing. 5 minute fill. 2 minute opens up. Every rate to fill this again, get deeper into this, 5 minute as well. Even take the low on the 5 minute. So I'm not looking to, make any type of money on the day. Just looking to, you know, capitalize. So if something clear out of this pops up, obviously there's a possibility to trade it again, but I have to find a really good reason to trade it again, just based upon where we're at. So 5 minute looks to, still hold. We got 2 more minutes. But from here, I do want to start seeing bullish, you know, bullish signs. So put that 30-second change in right there. Just like that, we are starting to get lower. The gaps are starting to hold. So it looks like, this trade most likely won't pan out, but still, at the end of the day, we position ourselves, nicely, and then obviously, took a break-even day. So we just souped this low, we took it. If we don't get like instant legs up, then that's it. That's the order right there. So bam, not bad. Got that, out of it too. So here, just really waiting, not gonna trade it instantly again. Still have, targets, of course, above. Take this off. We still know we wanna, target buy side, but for 1 hour is gonna hold. Doesn't necessarily matter at all. So 2-minute change just gets put in as well right there. Pretty sure NQ, same thing. But, still no confidence in trading this yet. So, just watching now. We still might want to continue that sell off as well. Gotta really note that in our heads. Pull back to EQ this range here. Right, discount, manipulate higher, one more, and then possibly, still might want to get a sell off. So we don't even know if we want to, sell off again. So we have so much reason to move back lower. It just looks like our little sell model, buy side taken, bam, inside of a gap, just 1 hour gap, did hold. So that is bearish, but let's see what this gap has to provide. So the 5-minute looks like it got ran. 5-minute gets ran, bam. 3-minute change, 2-minute change, 1-minute change. I want to see what this gap has to offer. If we run this gap, we're looking bullish here. Run this gap, put in a change, we're bullish. To go to buy side. Which it still makes sense. So we just take the low. That's all we do. And put in our move. Buy side, external. That shit looks clean. I ain't gonna lie. So 2-minute model is, in my opinion, the cleanest. If we're gonna hold, then we will. And then I'll look for, if we hold here, I'm gonna look for this change out of it. And take a possible short. So we're holding, and then it does make sense. NQ looking to get lower too. Makes a lot of sense. S&T, of course. 30-second model though is what I'm looking to see. I want to see a clean change though. 2-minute held. So here's exactly where I want to see it happen though. I want to see that change be put in here. Right there. So anticipating this change in the state off this 30-second candle. While this 2-minute gap held, stop's going to go right above this gap, and we're looking for that 30-second, to validate this trade idea. So stop's going to go originally up there, and Q looking to follow. S&T down here, that is our sell side. I'll just mark it like that just to look at it a lot more clean. And then let's look for, equilibrium of the entire range. Super clean. And then we have a 1 hour change right there too. Yeah, that's nice. We pulled back, we changed, we pulled back, and now we're just starting to seek lower out of this move. So nothing holding us either. So super. I like this drawing right here. Obviously, this 15-minute holding is not ideal in this case scenario, but we're looking for that 15 minutes to just get ran. News open. We're inside this macro. We would have had a strong reason, looking for this. This is a real change right here that we're looking for that pullback. This entire move higher. Market sell. I'm gonna look to add 4 here, and then my stop's gonna go right above this. I'm gonna target this too. So pretty much this change right here. Clean manipulation move right there. Stop is above a 1 minute. And we have our, original size on, but the model just being, present enough for me to take this. I like it. We respected a 2-minute clean manipulation move. Could seek lower on this, but I'm basing it off the 1 minute here and this 1 minute change. So let me just go back real quick. Looking to go break even somewhere, at these lows right there. A lot of relative equal lows too. So we're just gonna hang on to this trade. Right here, we'll probably go break even. And then that 2, changing the state is our 2. Equilibrium right beneath that too. So we are looking to see lower. Equal lows, break even mark. And we're just not looking to see any of this stuff hold here. pulled back to this change as well already. No need to pull back to it. Our stop could go a little bit tighter around there, but we're gonna leave it right above this 1 minute for now. Really nice, consistent, size on 275. So we tightened it up a little bit, but we're looking for that, that follow through pretty soon, just because where we're at, where we're doing already. Market enters the macro at 950. We had our reversal in here, so to about 10, sometime after that. So got that 1 minute holding. Take off this change. Want to see NQ start making its move lower as well. Same thing above this though. We have equilibrium resting there. So that's really gonna be it. This will be the trade though. If anything, like we're not gonna continue to trade this. I think everything happening where it happened at was the purpose of this. So we will look to go break even fairly quick as soon as that level gets met. Equal lows, mind you, we generated a lot of sell side along this way, and then we put in a nice move, standard deviation. So break even, I'm going to buy 6 back here of this sell position. So I'm going to take 75% of this trade off here, which would be somewhere around like 4 something, 350 maybe. But we're going to take that off in the break even mark, go break even. And 2 just go. So that's what we're looking for here. 15-minute looking to get ran. If we run this 15-minute though, and the next 5 minutes, obviously I will just probably go break even a little bit sooner than needed, only because we just won't need to get back higher. So I just want to see some displacement off of this candle though. Just really confirming like lower is the draw. So 5-minute candle looking nice though. I want to see this open up though, kind of just get down, So we're already about to, hit our break even point. So this is a really good time to just tighten up the risk, 125, and just not really let any loss, play a factor at all. So we run this 1 minute, we can get rid of that. We're at that macro, ending point in time. So we'll look for it to pick up in the next 5-10 minutes. So we got a lot of size coming off at these lows. No S&T. Break even would be on NQ right there. Get rid of this S&T as well. And yeah, so we just take that low. But yeah, looking for this, next candle to push. Bow. Majority just came off there at 415. And then now, we can go break even. So we're break even now on the day. Just secured our profits. And you look here, we got that next, move of standard deviation, which was this entire run. So if I just draw this out here to there, I look for that 2. I know there's 2 down here. So like I could really see lower on the day. Let 2 cons really work for me. Can let this go here, equilibrium, right inside that gap. We'll probably do that. So here, break even, no money lost on the day. Two really consistent trades. I don't know. That's pretty much it, to be honest. We got this equilibrium mark and a change in the state. I feel like that's a very, like, I feel like that's magnetic down there. So, you know, there ain't no need to really not meet these levels. But that's exactly what I'm gonna start doing. When I go break even, I'm going to have my partials, come off. Because when I started risking a lot more, heavy, 75% of that was 415, which is dumb clean. I like that. If I'm putting on, about 275 and I'm shrinking that up to, somewhere 250, practically hitting a 1 to 2, taking my, my fruit, taking what's given right there. Mind you, we did not take that on NQ, so that's an easy, like, SMT, boom, possibly run back higher. I will look to, not look for another trade, but if this doesn't go to full TP, there's more likely for a reason that we wanted to manipulate and then obviously return, back higher. But I doubt that putting in a 15-minute change here, getting beneath this, running a gap, it's kind of like not ideal for us to go all the way back up. So like I said, just letting price action tell you will always reward you. And within this next minute and a half, just gonna look for the runners to get met. So, other than that, like I said, dumb clean. We have a risk-free trade, capitalized on a lot of bread. If I took off 7 of the 8, it would only be like, shit, I don't even know for where we're at right now. Yeah, I really don't even know. I would be like 450, so it's not really like a big difference. Letting these two run though, let me make a lot more. So we're looking to open up a 5-2 in favor. Like this shit's gonna get held. I'm holding this trade all the way down there. TP1, like I said, the super clean trade. Stop right above the 1. Wow. Phil was in this 30-second though, right here. So Phil was all the way up here, low key. We changed off this 30. Yeah, just putting a 15-minute change in the state, so we're gonna start sneaking over here. Again, we're just holding. So this was really like the trade changed. Yeah, I got filled there. Stop wanting to put like this at first. We just tightened it up as we went. So I could take off one con. I could let that shit ride here. It's another $400, But we're just letting that jump go to equilibrium. It's an area. It's not necessarily a full draw, but equilibrium, what does it line up with, like perfectly a 1 hour. So obviously we're gonna look for that to get met along with our external, our sell side level right there. But we're looking for a clean, just pick up in delivery. So at least want to see a sell side level get met, and some form to flush through that. But probably pull back to this change. We got a 5-minute that opened up. This 15-minute got inversed. Like dumb clean of a trade though today. I ain't even gonna lie. Like you take some shit like that, you're you're cooling. Like, you feel really good, you know. Took two good ass trades, you know. At the end of the day, like, I'm seeing this shit go long, at least here, break even, you know, partial there, bam. Obviously, I was partial in there, looking to see just a higher move, but we're not gonna do that if, you know, it's possible, and we've done it sometimes, and that's why I did that. But we're not. That's why I put the trade on and I go break even though, because like we're not gonna do that without doing this first. Like we're not gonna go to buy side without, you know, the manipulation move happening, and that's this here. So that, like, you know, you go in a higher time frame, like we hit this equilibrium, and then, you know, like manipulation move looks like something like this. Now your two lines up with buy side, you know, that's the only way that's like happening. So like that's something I really just had to, you know, see, but I could have easily taken profits along that way. But again, like I said, you know, that's just something that I have to, you know, learn myself and start practicing myself. So we're at this change in the state, about to hit full TP. Just gonna probably close this jump. I ain't gonna lie. If we don't just pick up and go, I'm just gonna take my profits for real and walk away. I ain't gonna lie. I'm comfortable with that. So $35 on the line, you know what I mean? So hell of a freaking trade though. Can't even lie. You know, I don't care if we flush down there. Like I said, I was taking it to the change as my full TP first, and then, you know, equilibrium. Like that's just kind of like, you know, an area. So we pulled right back to this 1 hour change on the day. Again, I'm cool with what happened. Happy with the, you know, profits. That's progress. 626 on the day. We risked, you know, a decent amount on the day. Like, you go back and look, we risked like shit. I don't even know. Like, probably the first trade was 220. And the second trade was 275 once we had it like fully set. So that's 495. So we risked about 495 today. And, you know, lost none on the first trade. Risked at 275 on the next trade, and then, you know, obviously profited on that one. So, you know, super clean up. Hell of a freaking trade though. I ain't gonna lie. So a 1 to 2.45. If you take 275 times that by 2.24, you roughly end up with 660. And obviously it's not going to be the most accurate because when you partial, you know, it's about $34 away from that 660 mark, you know. When you partial your contracts, it lowers a fill, you know. So like I get fill here originally, but like when I partial, I'm here now a little bit, and then now, you know, break even, but still I'm letting those two contracts run for another 200 and whatever dollars. But again, I didn't even, if you look at it, I closed $35 early. So, you know, that shit's just like dumb clean. But the reason why I close is like if I don't close there, like if I'm not confident in just like closing, that shit happens, you know? And there ain't nothing wrong with that happening. Like we have every right to do that, but I don't care what happens after this, you know? Simply like whatever the market does now, like in this moment, like I stop caring, you know? Like after that, it just doesn't mean like anything to me. So that's pretty much gonna be it. Just gonna grab this screenshot, wrap it up there. Video will be out. It's gonna be a pretty long video, but at the end of the day, you know, I'm posting the stream, I'm posting the vids. Like I'm probably gonna edit the video up and just, you know, put it to the two trades exactly, and then bam, you know, start making my videos a quick run. But the streams, if you're tuned in and you're watching, you will learn something, and you'll see exactly why, you know, I'm doing this every single day. Win, lose, or draw. Remember, I still was down no dollars on the day after this move, and I was confident, and I accepted the fact that, you know, like we lost there, waited for a full change, 30-second, 1 minute, bam, and I'm in, and I take my, my fruit, take off all my, damn near all my bread right here. Even like, look, a 1 to 1.2. So I'm doubling my money, taking it, and I'm letting some run at the end of the day. So stop was actually right there. But that's pretty much it, I don't want to keep on, yapping away, but I hope everybody in the stream enjoyed the video. Hope you guys, learned something today. The week is over. Enjoy the weekend. So I'm gonna catch y'all